hoping to match it. Nope, 3. Not Snake
that
Eyes.
ain't it, but it's not Snake Eyes, so we're good.
Yeah, we've seen Snake Eyes kind of be an omen for pretty bad luck here this weekend, but...
Now, one of the nice things about MathMech, right, is that you don't necessarily need to go first.
True.
Because the way the deck beats you so many times is update Jammer with Access Code Talker. If your opponent has a weak opening, you can take advantage and just blow them out in a single turn.
Yeah, it's so easy to get to the 3 Cyberse monster combination to access those plays very easily in MathMech. But it looks like Jesse is going to start things off and start with a runic spell to summon Hugin. Hugin discard Sacred Tree. This is a very classic opening for the Naturia runic deck. When Naturia Sacred Tree is sent to the graveyard, you're able to add any Naturia card from your deck to the hand.
That's sent to the graveyard anyway, so you can discard it. You can send it from the deck to the graveyard.
Yep.
With Yugioh or with Camellia or any of that stuff.
And it looks like, so instead of ashing the Hugin, decided to hold it and ash the Sacred Tree. So he's not going to be able to add a Naturia monster. I think this is smart, because when we did see the Naturia runic deck earlier in one of the previous rounds, he wasn't able to get the Naturia part of his strategy online, and it was very difficult for him to play the game. He ended up losing both those games that he didn't really play any Naturia cards. Let's see if it works the same here.
Plays Tip.
This is ideal. Runic Tip, the best runic quick play, as it can add any runic card. It puts a quick play in your graveyard that you're going to be able to put back for that runic fountain for those extra draws.
Yeah, so pure runic decks never really took off. It was a little too easy to just break through everything and just smash them out of the game. And the thing that you get out of these Naturia cards is defense. Really incredibly powerful defense against a lot of the strongest cards in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Naturia Beast is one of my all-time favorite cards. I mean, being able to stop your opponent from having spell cards. I don't know if a lot of people out there played Yu-Gi-Oh, but spell cards are probably some of the most powerful types of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But it looks like he's going to banish a card off the top of the deck for Runic Tip, and that is a Peril Exceed.
Oh, you'd love to have that going into your turn.
It's definitely a tool that he'd be able to use. It looks like he's going to activate Slumber, targeting Hugin, so it won't be able to be destroyed by battle the next time it would be.
Another Exceed, so
that one
plays out.
That one hurts bad. And now Jesse's going to return 3 runic quick plays to the bottom of his deck to draw 3 cards. Jesse's been playing for quite some time, so he's definitely a veteran of the scene. He's made a various number of top cuts at previous events, so he's definitely looking for a win here.
And he was picking up those cards very tentatively. Not sure he's super thrilled. And he does come up with Foolish Burial Goods.
It's pretty good with Naturia Sacred Tree not being once per turn. You're going to be able to send another copy and then use that effect to access Naturia Engine, nullifying that Ash Blossom that Clayton used on the first one. Foolish Burial Goods, one of my favorite cards. It's just so versatile, and with so many spells and traps that can do stuff when they're sent to the graveyard or banished while they're in the graveyard. It just has a lot of utility and a lot of variety of decks.
Just one of those cards that you really ought to just own a set of them.
Yep.
Just make sure you have it.
Certainly true.
And if you don't have it, it's probably getting printed again.
And now he's going to normal summon the Naturia Camilla, and that's going to send down Mole Cricket.
The Blessing is up next. Mole Cricket pops out of the graveyard.
So now he's going to use the Mole Cricket's effect. Since Camilla's on the field, he gets to send the 2 cards on the top of the deck to the graveyard instead of tributing it.
And it's a Runic and a Kaiju.
So we see
Gamma Seal.
Yep, main deck Gamma Seals here from Jesse Flores. Taking a moment to consider what he wants to summon. Let's see. Imagine he's going to summon Naturia Sunflower. Nope, it's going to be another Camilla. So yeah, it's probably what he was debating about, and now he's going to imagine a synchro summon will be coming next. So it looks like he might be looking for a Baron play. Yeah.
Got 4 and 2.
That's going to go
for make Charge Warrior. Just hope it makes Charge Warrior.
Charge Warrior or Coral Dragon, one of the two.
Oh, you need a non-tuner, right?
Oh, yeah, because he has the tuners on the field. Yep, so this would be the Charge Warrior. You get the Coral Dragon when you summon the Runic monster to your extra deck to make 10. Otherwise, you could just go for charge. Looks like, yeah, he's still
There it is.
considering the Coral Dragon for a second.
There it is. There's the Charge Warrior. Draws one more card.
And he can attack all your opponent's monsters. Doesn't come up too often, but definitely cool utility. Synchro summon for Baron de Fleur.
Now, if you can just get that Camellia back out of the graveyard, you could have Naturia Beast plus Baron. I don't know that there's a way to do that, though. Let's see. Taking a very close look there at Camellia. And passes over. Alright, so Mole Cricket stays on the field.
Well, Cricket does have that quick effect to tribute off the field. The Runic Fountain's face up, so he'll be able to activate Runic spells from the hand, and Baron has one negate of a monster, spell or trap available, and Clayton's going to lead off with Pot of Desires.
And that is going to eat up the Baron.
I see a Diameter.
Look through there.
Just one copy of Diameter, it looks like.
I mean, at that point, you're hoping that the third Parallel Exceed is in that pile.
Yeah,
You're just never going to see it.
Yep, I would agree with that. Does look like he opened up with Factorial, though. So he's going to use Subtraction to lower Baron's attack to special summon Mathematical Subtraction from the hand? Or is that Addition? I can't ever tell. This one's Addition, I think. No, it's Subtraction. I can't tell. Is he holding the minus sign? No, okay, the first one's Addition, the second one's Subtraction. Now that I can see Subtraction, I can tell. So it's Addition and Subtraction.
Doesn't seem too great. This is not
Where's
circular.
I was like, where is Mathmix Circular?
Not circular.
We're playing old Mathmix here.
Now we still have 2 level 4s, so we could go into
Alimbertion.
Alimbertion. And I can detach both to get a Mathmech card. We'll see if that goes through or if it eats a Freezing Curse. Yep, there is in fact a Freezing Curse. That does not bode well.
There's a Sigma, a Circular, and a Sigma.
Well, we found circular.
Freezing Curses and Dispelling.
That's going to trigger the Runic Fountain to put 2 Runic Quick Play spells back onto the bottom of the deck and allow Jesse to draw 2 cards.
This is quickly getting out of control.
Yeah, things are not looking good here from Clay. Not only having to go second, but not opening up with the strongest of hands. Going to summon another Addition. Open double Addition and a Subtraction, along with Factorial.
And that'll prompt the Mole Cricket effect.
It's going to jump on right into the graveyard to special summon, looks like maybe a Camellia? Yep.
And you get Sunflower in the graveyard as well, off of the Camellia effect.
Yep. He wants to make sure the card's really good. You're like, what does this card do? It's pretty insane. Even if it's not being able to send down a Sacred Tree. Because I think he happened to draw his 3rd copy of Sacred Tree off one of those Runic Resolutions. But now he's going to link his 2 Cyburst monsters into Splash Mage. But now that's going to prompt Mole Cricket.
That's an extra deck summon, so 2 more monsters are coming back.
Yep, he doesn't want him to be able to bring back that monster with the Splash Mage here. Yeah, it doesn't seem like Clayton's too familiar with the Naturia cards. It's definitely a strategy that's been around for a while, but not one you're like. You could go many OTS tournaments around with not seeing running into it. It has to be it has to be piloted by it's a difficult deck to pilot.
Goes ahead and takes out the Sunflower in battle, and now in main phase 2, looks like Splash Mage is going to do its thing, revive Alimbertion. And these 2 are going to link up. That makes
Transcode Talker.
Transcode Talker.
That's going to bring back the Splash Mage.
And are we just trying to make access code and clear things? Where are we going here?
It is indeed Access Code Talker. It's going to target the transcode talker in the graveyard, so it's going to gain 3,000 attack.
We'll banish the Splash Mage.
That's a water. So he's going to be able to do a different attribute now to destroy another card. Destroys Baron de Fleur. This main phase 2 access code talker cleaning up a little bit, but the Runic Fountain and Mole Cricket are still face up on the field. But Clayton has that hard drawn super factorial, he said, and I believe he has 3 math mechs, not diameter, so he's not going to be able to get that negate that he would like to have, but still may be able to summon a Laplacian and go somewhere with that.
You can cause some damage with this Laplacian. It's kind of like Evil Swarm Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Very similar cards. I was always terrified of Evil Swarm Ouroboros.
And that's when it couldn't be summoned off a trap card on the opponent's turn.
Yeah, it was a little harder. Evil Swarm deck still found a way. But it's also one of my favorite. Like, the art on it is so cool. Oh, Jesse's going to kaiju that access code talker. So even if he's not able to finish off Clayton's turn, I mean, he's not going to be able to attack. So Clayton's definitely going to have another turn in terms of life points. He's not going to have to worry about the access code talker staying on the field. That's kind of really cool. I think I like kaijus in the runic style decks because you can't attack over their monsters, but you can just tribute them off the field, summon a kaiju over there on their side.
Yeah, you just need to survive, really.
Just out control them. And that is going to be Smiting Storm to use the effect to summon Hugin.
Chainlink 1 Fountain, Chainlink 2 Hugin.
Discarding that Sacred Tree, I did notice he drew the third one that he wasn't able to send Camille. And yeah, Clayton's going to have seen enough, knows he's not going to be able to come back this game and go ahead and concedes game number 1.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough one. Watching the exact cards that you would have wanted to draw get banished immediately.
Yeah, it's
brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah, he really needed that Desires resolve, but Jesse knowing, like, Desires gives you 2 cards, I can use my 1 effect to stop you from getting those 2 cards. Pretty obvious choice most of the time. But that really just goes to show the power of Pot of Desires. If it's going to auto-force your opponent to, like, do something to stop it, that's a strong card. But now they're going into their side decks. Clayton's going to be able to go first, which is much more ideal for Mathmex. I mean, even if going second in that game 1, he was okay, but just didn't draw the right combination of cards. No circular. I mean, the big thing is circular. They play so many ways to get to it, and with Signet mining, Small World, and then just hard drawing it, you know, out yourself. It's
losing game 1 in Mathmech is really hard too, though. Like, part of what you're relying on in Mathmech is that you're just going to knock them out in game 1 without them knowing what even happened, and then get 2 more shots to do it again once they've reoriented themselves.
Just throw a bunch of equations and just they get lost in all the numbers. And
you're in the number zone now, buddy.
Yeah, Math, it's a powerful deck. It's definitely one of my favorites. I think the circular just really made a huge impact. I know, like, any of the Master Duel players out there really saw how it really rose to the top once Mathmech Circular was released there as well, and it's still having an impact to the TCG today.
And we watched Shiggy's play it in the Invitational as well and just utterly dominate.
Yeah, but it was all access code all the time for Shiggy's in that Master Duel Invitational. A lot of fun matches in that Invitational. I would like to go back and watch some of them. If you haven't checked it out, you should go check out our YouTube channel and watch some of these awesome VODs we have from our previous things we've hosted on our channel. Like the Master Duel First Year Anniversary Invitational.
So for Clayton, I think you gotta have the anti-spell fragrances, right?
That was my favorite card to side going this weekend. I think it's so strong going first against a variety of decks. I mean, Kashtira is a 20-plus spell card deck. Branded Despia, if they can't activate Branded Fusion, it's rough on them. And yeah, I think Anti-Spell is going to be a big one, especially against Runic. They could draw something like Runic Destruction and chain it, but they have to draw specifically that. But I would definitely still put Anti-Spell Fragrance in against Naturia Runic.
The trouble is you only get it once. Because in the game 3, not going to do you a ton of good.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you were talking about losing that game 1 is rough. Here we go. Duelists have side deck. They're getting shuffled up. You see that determination on Jesse's face, the focus. He's been here before. I know he used to, every time he would top a YCS, he would always lose in the first round of Top Cut and be so frustrated. Be like, man, I worked so hard. I got here and just didn't quite make it. But now he's going deep. It was top 64 he won. He won in top 32, and now he's in top 16. He has this trophy in his sights, literally. I'm pretty sure it's right there off to the right of him. So I definitely know he's focused and going to maintain this strong mentality going in. But Clayton, even though he's down one game, he's still not out. I'm sure there's been plenty of times throughout this tournament where he's lost game one and just came back and was able to set up a good board turn one. And then you mentioned that Mathmech can do really well with Access Code Talker, Update Jammer, and game going second. So game 3, not out of reach just yet for Clayton.
The trick is, in this particular matchup, if he just loses all the cards he needs from his deck to the runic cards.
Oh yeah, that could be devastating.
That's why I'm a little worried for him here. We've already seen it happen.
Indeed. All right, they're ready to go. They're shuffled up, and I see Clayton pointed himself to say he will be going first this time. No, I didn't like the way that game really played out, so I'm going to try my chances at going first, trying to set up that Decode Talker Heat Souls, maybe a Mathmech Super Factorial. It's time to duel. It's game number 2 of our top 16 feature match at the 250th YCS here in Los Angeles, California. All right, I see a Cosmic Cyclone in Clayton's hand already. That's going to be useful. And he also drew that Factorial again. But does he have the Circular? I see an addition or a subtraction, I
I
think.
feel like he'd be slamming it on the table if he had it.
Yeah, I think he just has addition, subtraction. Normal summons Ash Blossom.
It's never a good sign.
Summons addition.
Okay.
Oh, so
Okay,
he's
but
going.
we've got a link summon here.
He's going for Splash Mage. He's just
Got
going for a
Salamander
decode.
Rush.
This is rough. Yeah, he's just trying to get to Decode Talker Heat Soul. Splash Mage is the perfect way to get to Decode Talker Heat Soul, as it's a water. You can usually bring back a Cyberse with a different attribute, and there you have your materials for Heat Soul.
All right, let's go start drawing some cards. We draw one right now.
He could still draw into Circular. Oh, that's it.
That's it. I mean, it's green, but it's circular.
But do you want to discard one of these other cards in your hand? It's super I guess you could discard the Factorial, or maybe the Cosmic or Droll.
I feel like I want to keep.
I want to keep the Cosmic for sure. Oh, I spoke too soon.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I mean, we aren't playing.
Yeah,
so
I'm not the one in top 16.
we don't get to make the choice.
Droll and Logbird is pretty shut down against the Naturia deck, though. So he's going to add Mathmech Circular. Yeah, take a minute to read that, Jesse. It's quite good. Oh, but it's not going to be as good here because he already has the Decode Talker Heat Soul in his extra monster zone. So even if he sends down something like Mathmech Sigma, I don't think he's going to be able to special summon it back. Because he needs to control no monsters in his extra monster zone, I believe.
Maybe we're just going to set up for the Super Factorial.
Yeah,
then.
just send down a diameter. That makes sense.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, so that diameter will tack on an extra effect to the Xyz monster that uses it as material.
And he's going to link away for a Link Karibo, I'd imagine. Yep, there it is. The angry Link Karibo. Link Karibo. I love how mad his face is. It's just so funny to me. He's like, no, you can't activate that trap card.
All right, and Jesse is up. This is actually not bad. This is pretty good.
Yeah, from what it looked like from the start, I mean, drawing that Signet Mining really helped him, I think, off that
Yes.
Dark Heat Soul. So he's going to use the Heat Soul effect during the draw phase to pay 1,000 to draw a card. So Clayton's down to 6,000 life points now.
Destruction target.
We're going to go Destruction, immediately targeting.
Yep, draw face. Draw face.
So maybe that is why he discarded the Cosmic, because having to set the Cosmic and then being able to hit by something by Runic Destruction doesn't feel great. Even though you could chain the Cosmic just to banish the Runic Destruction and kind of keep it out of the graveyard, still wouldn't be the best. But the Factorial is going to be huge here, as it's going to summon 3 monsters back. He's going to get the Laplacian with the diameter, and now he can use Laplacian's effect.
However, I also am going to be, no, I'm just kidding. Just listen. And then,
Looks like he was thinking about telling him what the diameter did, but then decided not to.
I mean,
that is exactly what that
is. He splitting hairs? Like he's asking what the Laplacian did? Oh, well, he didn't ask about diameter, but the diameter actually adds the effect on to the Laplacian.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to be cautious of, because even if he loses the diameter as a material, that effect just lasts forever. It looks like you were right about the anti-spell fragrance, as that's getting banished off the top of the deck thanks to destruction.
And then attempt to use location effects. Detach diameter.
So he's just going to detach one here to send a card from his hand. Could hit a sacred tree or something, and that would actually be beneficial for Jesse if he has one in his hand. I couldn't see one. It was.
And there's a runic.
I think it's flashing fire.
Flashing fire. Yep. Starts with Camellia, activates the effect to send an Etruria card from the graveyard.
Let's see if this prompts Clayton to use Laplacian's negate that diameter granted it for the turn. Does not seem so. He's just probably use it on the sacred tree, maybe? Nope, allows that to go through as well. Maybe he's looking to make sure Runic Fountain doesn't come online for Jesse.
So you could use it on the Runic Fountain here. You could maybe use it on the Blessing.
Oh, he just wants to make sure he can use the Duel and Lockbird out of his hand. So no cards are going to be added from the deck to hand for either player for the remainder of this turn.
Blessing.
So right now it's attempting to
Special summon?
So it can special summon the trigger from the grave or hand.
Got to be the hand in this case.
Yep, nothing in there.
in hand.
Yes, sir.
So Clayton thinking about negating this.
Two. And you already used the criminal effect. It's a hard once per turn.
Yep.
So. I'll negate the Laplacian.
Okay, it does look like Jesse did know that diameter gives it a negate, so understood that. But he has another copy.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like the Cosmic Cyclone would have helped him out very much this
Nope.
turn anyways.
Oh, he appears to have made absolutely the right call.
And he mills two and hits a Sacred Tree, but he's under Droll and Lockbird.
Special. Special summon.
Yeah, so he's still going to be special from the Mole Cricket, but an otherwise good mill, not as good as once was. A good card to send from the deck to the graveyard, that is.
I'm going to go ahead and bringing that Sunflower forward there. Jury Beast has one of those weird stat lines. 22.
22-17, I think. Yeah,
2.
it's a weird one. It's definitely not as much as the Heath Soul. Heath Soul gets stronger with more monsters that are in the zones that it points to. So it's, I think, at 3,300 right now with 2 monsters in the zones.
Detach.
Just double checking, make sure the Laplacian doesn't do anything he's unsure about. Don't want to wait for some hidden effect to catch you by surprise.
Probably had to check the cards beneath it as well.
That's always a good thing when you're playing against Mathmech. Make sure you know if they use diameter or not for that Exceeds or Synchro summon.
Okay, this thing's destroyed by battle, right?
No, you gotta. It happens with the Invoke deck back in the day, but sometimes if a monster, or in Tri-Brigade, it would come up a lot too, where if you destroy another monster by battle, you can special summon back that Salamangreat Almirage from the graveyard. That won't be happening this turn because Jesse did use a runic spell, I believe, so he won't be able to have a battle phase.
Can't use that tree.
It'd be next turn.
Yep. That Droll and Lockbird might be slowing down Jesse just enough. It's going to be a Synchro summon. Looks like he's considering Stardust Charge Warrior. Won't be able to draw the card. Oh no, it's Barkion. Naturia Barkion. That's a big monster. He has 2,500 attack, but that doesn't matter because it's going straight to the graveyard for another Synchro summon. We're Synchro climbing.
5 and
6 and...
Oh, 6 and 4. That's right. 6 and 4. I was thinking Beast for some reason.
Yep, we were talking about it.
Talking about Beast.
And now Baron is going to use the destruction effect to go after that Decode Talker Heat Soul and destroying it and send it to the graveyard.
Now, Heat Soul actually has another ability, right? Can't it escape?
I think it just gains the boost from the attacks of the monsters it points to.
Standby phase?
But we just had it at like 3,300 attack points, so it wasn't big enough for Baron, but yeah, you can't go to the battle anyway. And now he still has a Baron with a Mole Cricket. Mole Cricket is a quick effect that'll be able to tribute off to summon monsters. A monster, since he has the highest attack monster in the field, he won't be able to summon two, but might be useful.
Oh, I see. You need to have 2,000 life points or left.
Oh, I forgot.
less.
Oh, it has a. I forgot about that
So
effect.
tied to the draw effect, there's one that lets you swap it out
Oh, into
for another Link 3 or lower Cybers monster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that part come up yet, but that's definitely something to keep track of. Usually when I have effects like that, I go out of my way. I want to make it happen in my games. I want to like practice so I get comfortable with it, so I can see the scenarios where it comes up.
You still have your...
And it looks like Clayton, considering a Link summon to start his turn, he's looking at Cyberse Wicked. Now he's considering Splash Mage.
Normal summon Sigma? Is that okay?
Normal summons Mathematics Sigma.
Just thinking about which things to combine here.
Tempted battle phase.
So he's going to try to go to battle to deal with this Naturia Mole Cricket.
Lapation is going to attack over Milker. Sure. Main phase 2.
Going to take it down, do some damage. The Baron's still on the field, so Clayton's going to want to get that off the field. Is it going to be like the same thing in the last game where he just makes access code talker to destroy the Baron? Maybe.
Access code talker with no more effects would be interesting.
Splash Mage targeting Circular.
Splash Mage is going to target Circular. Splash Mage lets you special summon. Oh, the Baron does still have that negate. He's going to be able to negate Splash Mage and send it to the graveyard.
I'll use...
But now he doesn't have a monster in his extra monster zone, so that's going to let him special summon Mathematics Sigma from the graveyard back to the field. Looks like this is all according to plan for Clayton.
Both at 6 turn. There's the Blues.
He's going to link it away, and it's going to be banished.
That's Cyberse Wicked. Cyberse Wicked, always worth a read.
Yeah, I believe if you summon a monster to a zone it points to, you're able to add a Cyberse Tuner from your deck to your hand. But not going to be summoning any monsters, so he's just going to leave the Cyberse Wicked up on the field.
Also protects Cyberse monsters it points to from being destroyed by card effects.
Not too bad.
Link summon card itself can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So it's actually a little pesky.
Yeah, this Baron won't be able to take it out even. He's going to have to find a new way to get around it.
Baron effect. Get the...
He might be, looks like standby phase. He's going to use Baron's effect to return to the extra deck and special summon a level 9 or lower monster from his graveyard. Looks like he's looking at the dragon, Naturia Barkion. I just love the artwork on Barkion. It's such a cool looking dragon.
That's the third Grimygo's.
He drew them all. Yeah, he had no short supply of the Naturia monsters in his opening hand.
Tree effect. I'll ash
You ash the tree.
That was Clayton's last card to his name. Now he's just sitting on this Cyberse Wicked. I think Jesse can smell top 8. Though there are a lot of high impact cards that Mathemate can draw. If he just draws into something like Circular to get another Sigma into the graveyard, you can use the Circular to special summon, send down Mathemate Sigma, bring back the Sigma, it'll trigger Circular's effect to add a Mathemate Speller Trap, and you can continue from there. So he definitely has some top decks that he could be looking for if he believes in the heart of the cards.
I do wonder if Baron's just going to be right back onto the field.
I think that is a good possibility. But this Cyberse Wicked is actually just sticking on the field.
Yep, it'll stay there, but it's also a conduit to Clayton's life points.
That is the downside about Link monsters. They have no defense and can't go to defense mode.
But if you play in our Ultimate Pegasus Challenge, they can go upside down for 5 minutes.
The Pegasus Challenge is always a fun public event at these awesome landmark YCSs that we have. I didn't get to check it out, but I hope they had a good time. Or still having a good time. So synchro summon, I think you might be right. It might be the same copy of Baron de Fleur, refreshed now.
It's still not going to be Leo.
Unless... Oh, it's Chang Ying. All right, this is a cool one. It gains 100 attack for every banished card. And if a card is banished, he could banish a card from the opponent's graveyard and field.
Interesting choice here.
Yeah, I wonder if he has something to trigger the effect, something in his graveyard that he can banish to make it happen whenever he wants. Doesn't look like it. I'm wondering. I mean, I'm assuming he has a plan, which is why he would go for this. Besides something like Baron de Fleur.
Okay, and how many cards are currently banished? For mine, it's 500. So you're at 3,500, and with it,
It would also, if he does happen to find a way to get to Sigma and then has the Sigma leave the field besides something like an Xyz summon, that would trigger the Chang Ying. So maybe he's banking on something like that.
37. Doesn't look like I have any monsters left.
Jesse's noticing all his Naturia monsters are gone.
pass turn.
Oh, just a pass here from Clayton. I can't tell how many cards Clayton has banished. I don't know if it's just a Sigma, if he has a few more underneath.
It's
Yeah, it's a few.
One of the,
Battleface.
remember there were runic cards played.
Yep, just that way. The one destruction hits 4, so that's 5.
Sure. So I'm
Banishing 3.
Oh, this is the runic spells trigger it. It banishes 3 from the top of the deck, so it's going to trigger Chang's effect to banish a card from the graveyard and field. It's also going to increase his attack by another 500, since 3 cards off the top of the deck, 2 more from the field and graveyard. And with 37, let's see if he has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Oh, it's not quite enough, I don't think. Oh, it is. It is enough. It is 10 cards he has banished. It's over 4,000, and that's game. Jesse wins it here with his Naturia runic deck. Incredible match. Well played there by both players, but Jesse walking away. I mean, you got to give it up to Clayton for not drawing, very